Hello again, YouTubers, on with SpongeBob 101 back here again on the SpongeBob channel with part 46 of our SpongeBob Adventures in a Jam playthrough. We just finished or fixed up the Raisin Hut. A non-stop repairs, quest complete. There we go. And also Vineyard Voyage, quest complete. So if you missed out any previous part, the link to the iCards or the link to the playlist is in the iCards and in the description box below. So, this is where we left off with the Raisin Hut now completed. We can actually make the Whelk feed, but it's not that straightforward after all. So, I mean, nothing in this game is that straightforward, honestly. You gotta put the time in, the effort into making whatever things happen in this game happen. So, we're gonna plant our grape seeds once again, and if you missed out the previous part 45, I did talk about how you get the seeds. You remove the trees, those like barren looking trees over there. So we also have another free spin for the Dutchman's treasures. So we've got a easy quest, which doesn't look very easy, but I think we should be able to do it. There we go. So claim all, and we get another skin for one of those Bikini Bottomites buildings, which is not great for the simple reason that those skins, for the decorative skins, are time limited, which I just don't understand why. Like, why do they have it to make it time limited? Why? That was never a thing in SpongeBob Moves In, you know, when we had the Halloween event. We just got the Halloween looking buildings and they were there permanently. So I don't see any reason why the developers shouldn't do the same thing here. It just doesn't make any sense to have a time limited skin. Okay, we are going to make more of the Whelk feed. And again, the goal here is to get the Whelk extract, which apparently is key to getting into the Cephalopod Lodge or gaining access generally. So yeah, that is what we have to do. Since I'm recording the voiceover, well, way later on after I recorded the footage, so I would have to say this zone is pretty huge as well. And our next task here is, I believe, to get to the membership desk. Yeah, to get an invitation to the lodge. And why do they have an invitation booth way across the road from their actual lodge instead of putting it right in front of it? You know, sometimes we just don't ask questions, right? So yeah, we've got the bucket of Whelk juice and dialogue. Here you go, Mr. Farmer Man. One feast fit for baby Whelks. Again, I still think the baby Whelks surrounding him or circling him is really cute. Just in time, they were starting to look at me funny. Do you think you suppose we could get that key? Oh sure, good luck over there. You're gonna need it. Well, that isn't very helpful. Well, at least you won't be eaten by baby Whelks. So yeah, that, you know, I like the sound of that. Cool. Okay, so now we can actually start trying to get into the Cephalopod Lodge. Whelk Feast, excuse me, quest complete. Seeking the members sign-up spot. Our hilarious hunt. It's not very hilarious, frankly. But yeah, lodge member, I'm gonna give it to him, the invitation. And instead of opening up the path wide open to the membership desk, nope, we gotta do manual labor to clear the path once again. So, our hilarious hunt over there, alright, so that's 135, and then another 75. There we go, another random artifact. And then 140. Please don't make us oh darn. I'm gonna have to do the 191 too, huh? Yep, as I expected. Okay, so at least that was the last one. So now we have access to the sign-up desk, which is covered in jelly. Now again, I don't understand how certain things can just cover in jelly and not others. It just feels like it's not very immersive, okay? So we have random obstacles all over the place, and then we have jellies in specific spots. So what happened when the jellyfish storm came around? Like, did the jellyfish just decide not to, you know, drop jelly on the random obstacles? I mean, there are certain obstacles, like if you look at the coral there is jelly on it, but most of the other obstacles don't have jelly on them. So yeah, even the rocks should have jelly on them. Maybe they'll actually implement that in future, because the textures for the obstacles are reused throughout the entire game, so they don't actually change unless we're looking at a completely different like obstacle that is exclusive. For example, those ropes there, right? I think those are ropes. Yeah, those look like ropes. So those are new, and we haven't seen them before, as far as I can remember. And we might have, but I just forgot. Anyways, we've got our Game Pass rewards, the fertilizer for whatever that is, and some treats and more fertilizer. So if you missed out the previous video, I was talking about how basically I feel like the Game Pass is just meant to make them way more money. And it's not really for free to play players, because unless you have a whole lot of time or you spend money, you really won't get up to the max level of the Game Pass, is what I'm trying to say. And frankly, as I've been getting more and more busy with real life stuff, I've just decided to take a pass on the Game Pass because, get it? Because it's a Game Pass. I'm passing on the Game Pass. But yeah. And I think, frankly, if you haven't noticed, I've only been doing the Dutchman's Treasure because those actually give pretty useful rewards, and they don't take an eternity to get through, you know, because the Game Pass requires you to collect things that also require you to keep coming back over and over to the game, like every hour, for example, just to harvest the thing and, you know, remake or start production of that same thing or a different item again. And I just think, no, I'm not gonna do that. So that's one of the main, I would say, distinguishing points between this game and the game that it pseudo replaced, SpongeBob Moves In. And if you've been watching the channel for a really long time, you know how much I actually like SpongeBob Moves In. But for those of you who don't know my position on SpongeBob Moves In, SpongeBob Moves In is still my favorite SpongeBob app, mostly because of the way that the game was handled, in that it tied into certain things that were happening in the real world, like in terms of SpongeBob, right? So we've got access to the grape stomping barrel, and it looks like the guy's literally gonna stomp on the grapes. But yeah, and I really like the art style from there. It was an art style that was absolutely unique. We've never seen that kind of art style before, and I'm not sure what the word is to describe it per se, but I really liked it. And it was their first take at a city building game, which I thought was absolutely cool. And back then there wasn't such a thing as a Game Pass, probably because it was not so prevalent in so-called free-to-play mobile games. But there were in-app purchases, and you could buy Jellyfish Jelly back then. So, but frankly, like, because the game was initially costing $3.99, if I'm not wrong, not a lot of things require you to actually spend real money through in-app purchases unless you accidentally do so, which I thought was really nice. Of course, we can't really compare that to this anymore in this time period because we don't have SpongeBob Adventures in a Jam back in 2013, and we don't have SpongeBob Moves In right now, sort of. If you still have the game, you can play it on iOS, as far as I'm aware. I still play it from time to time on my iPhone, but I'm not sure how it goes for Android anymore, because I've heard people say that they can't use it. The app just doesn't load anymore. Of course, you can't download it anymore officially through, you know, official means like the Google Play Store for Android, or even for Apple, that being said, unless you have it in your previous purchases. But yeah, so I really like SpongeBob Moves In, and I feel like they did take a couple hints from that, if any, and even if they didn't, it would be good to take some, you know, hints from there. I would love to see actual tie-ins to new SpongeBob episode premieres in like the real world, rather than just this game being completely isolated on its own, which has its good points. But again, having that little events, like, you know, the time limited events, would actually make this game feel more exciting rather than just having to go through the story and all that. Which, I mean, it's not bad, it's just having to remove all the obstacles in the first place is just miserable. Okay, fancy front door they have. Let us use the sacred key that we got from the recruitment booth. Squidward, do you think anyone's inside? I'm sure of it, and this is my chance to show them I belong. Do you think we could become members too? Wow, no, sorry. I mean no. Patching out our crew moon booth, quest complete. And then our hilarious hunt, which wasn't very hilarious, quest complete. So now we can actually open the door. We're just gonna quickly claim our gems here. Key to the lodge, let's go. Oh, the door just swings open very ominously. Door dilemma, quest complete. And now, let's enter the lodge. Ooh. Do all secret societies have more than one door, Squidward? That outer door is to keep out the riffraff like yourself. The inner door is for the elite few. Okay. Are we few enough to get through? Oh, that's a different definition of few. Is there a trick to getting it open? I cannot reveal lodge secrets. Would he even know? Because he isn't even part of the lodge yet. Then how will we get it open? Maybe there's a secret incantation. Just use the handle. Bummer. I could really go for an incantation. Okay, so we're inside now. From rookie to lodge prowess. Quest complete. Find a member of the lodge and fix the door. Okay, so we're first up. We have to find... Or we had to fix the door, right? So let's quickly collect these, and there's nothing else. I'm gonna quickly show off the map here of the inside. So we have all those weird, like, statues around of, like, eels. The golden eel, I believe. You can see its sky. But yeah, so it's a fairly big map. Not as big as Doom Tower in my, like, from what I'm looking at, but you know, it might just be the same. Okay, so we need to get the blocks of whatever stone that he was talking about. What was it again? Day 19 daily reward. Dutchman's treasure again. All right, let's spin the wheel. Spin 200 coins, collect 20 corn. That's really easy. So again, we have our rewards here. What is going to be new this time? There we go. Another spooky building skin, which again is time limited, probably. Well, we'll see by the end of this video, or maybe in the next one. But yeah, come on, guys. Like, why is there a time limit on building skins? It doesn't make any sense. And I know people actually complain about this in the Discord server, the official one. But like, yeah, like, developers, come on. Seriously, this is something so simple that you don't need a time limit for. And you can't even buy the skin off the shop. So, you know, if they made it like where you have it time limited, but if you really wanted it to be permanent, you could use your gems to buy it permanently. So essentially, that reward would sort of be like a trial license, you know, to have that. That would still be better than not having that skin available at all once you like run out of the time, right? So yeah, it's really, I mean, some decisions, I can understand certain decisions where it clearly is done to make money, and then other decisions just don't make any sense because they don't, I mean, it's not like the developers lose anything by making it available. Like, for example, the energy capacity upgrades. Those people who really rely on energy, like keep checking back, they're most likely not going to pay money in the first place. That's why they want to use the energy, because if you were going to pay the money, it doesn't matter whether the capacity upgrades exist or not. You would just spend extra money for the energy, right? So yeah, it just feels like some certain things the developers make it a little bit stranger, which, you know, things like that, quality of life updates or upgrades. We did go backwards a little bit. We took a few steps back, especially with the energy capacity, and now we're taking some weird steps with, for example, the building skins. So hopefully these things do get fixed in the future, or the developers do change their minds, and maybe because it's not broken, you know, it's probably intended, and they decide to reverse course or take a different approach. We'll see as time progresses. Next reward here, more energy, more coins. Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, spend 160 coins and get some kelp. That's pretty easy. But what we're gonna do now is continue getting our blocks of stone here, 11. Okay, I did use some energy on it before. More exploration points, always nice. I think I'm gonna hold off on the spinny the wheel. But we do have to keep moving here. We need to get more of those blocks of stone for the door. You know, with all the blocks of stone that we're harvesting for the door, can you imagine how heavy the door must be? Regardless, I think I'll end off the video here. Make sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys again in the next SpongeBob video coming real soon. Till then, bye!